Hey guys, it's Maddie, and today I'll be doing the Try a Chapter tag. So I have done this tag before. I don't think I mentioned it, but I actually plan to do this tag once a month, just because I really loved doing this tag last time I did it last month. And I thought it'd be cool to do it every month, and the book that I pick in this tag I can add to my TBR for the following month. I thought it would be really cool just because I really enjoyed doing this tag last time. And it really helped me discover which books I actually do really want to read right away. So I have 5 books right here that I'm going to be trying the first chapter to. And for those of you who have not heard of this tag yet, I should probably explain how it works. So I read the first chapter to each of these books, and the chapter that grips me the most, that makes me want to read the book like right away, that's the book I choose to put on my TBR for next month. So like I said, I have 5 books here. They are all fantasy books except for one. Actually, I have 1 contemporary book and 3 fantasy books and 1 kind of thriller book. So pretty diverse range of book genres right here. And the theme for this month's Try a Chapter tag is books that I really want to get to. I have a lot of books that I really want to get to, but I feel like at the moment these are the ones that I've just been really wanting to prioritize to get to. So I thought, why not better way to see which one I'm going to get to next than to do it during a Try a Chapter tag. So I'm excited to read the first chapters to these. So let's just get started with me telling you what books I plan to try a chapter to. So the first book I have is a thriller book, and that is You by Caroline Kepnes. I can't even tell you how many times I put this book on a TBR and just have not read it. I've had this book for 2 years, and I want to read it so bad, and I just don't understand why I'm not reading it. Because it sounds so good. It's about this guy who is stalking this girl, and they end up dating, but the girl doesn't know that she's dating her stalker. It sounds like so scary, and I just really want to read this, especially during the winter season. I feel like this book would be perfect to read during the season, so I'm going to try out the first chapter to this one, and I have a really good feeling that I'll pick it, so we'll just see. This is the 1 contemporary book I have on this Try Chapter tag, and that is Between the Lines by Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer. This is another book I've had for like 2 years and have not gotten to it. And it sounds so cute. It's about this girl who is reading her favorite book, and the prince from this book starts talking to her and asking her to take him out of the book. And it sounds like one of those stories that really plays on reality and not reality, what's real and what's not. It just sounds so cute and so good. I've heard pretty good things about it, so I really want to read it soon, and I might just pick it for this tag. This is another one I have a really good feeling about. Next, I have 3 Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake. This is a very popular YA book that's been talked about since like last year when it came out, and I've just been really dying to read it. This one is supposed to be about these 3 girls who are destined to become queen, but they have to fight to the death, and the last one standing alive is queen. Doesn't it just sound like so brutal and like so intense? I'm like been really wanting to read this. The only thing that's kind of been holding me back from reading it is that I heard it's super slow, and that really pains me because I just find slow books so hard for me to get into. So I've just been kind of like, why do I know if I'm actually going to like this? But I still want to give it a try, so I'm going to try out the first chapter and we'll just see how that goes. Next, I have Heartless by Marissa Meyer, another pretty popular YA book on BookTube that I have not read yet, and I've just been really wanting to read this. This is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, but it follows the Queen of Hearts and her life before she became the Queen of Hearts, and it just sounds so good. I've heard so many great things about it, and I'm really ashamed that I have not read it yet, but I've been wanting to really get to it, so maybe I'll pick it for this tag. I don't know, we'll just have to see. This next one, I have been meaning to get to this book like the minute it came out. I actually think I got it right when it was released, and I was like, I'm gonna read that right away, and then I never got to it. It came out like a year ago, and it's like, never got to it. I got it practically on release day too, which is insane. But that is Roseblood by A.G. Howard. The thing that really draws me in to want to read this book is that it is a Phantom of the Opera retelling. That right there, once I heard that I was a Phantom of the Opera retelling, I was like, I have to read this book. I don't even know what it's about. I just want to read it because it's a Phantom of the Opera retelling, and the Phantom of the Opera is one of my favorite stories of all time. I actually have not read the original book to the Phantom of the Opera, but I have seen the 2004 movie, and that's like one of my favorite movies of all time. So I just really want to read this just because it's a Phantom of the Opera retelling. I meant to get to it right when it came out, and it just never happened. So I have a really, really good feeling that I'll pick this one for this tag. Out of all these books, I feel like this is the one that I'm really going to pick for this tag, but we'll just see if the first chapter grips me. So I'm really looking forward to reading the first chapter to it and seeing how it goes. So those are all the books that I'm going to try out the first chapter to. I'm going to read these first chapters, and then I'm going to come back tomorrow and let you guys know which book that I chose to pick. So just stay tuned, and future me will be here in just a second, right now. Alrighty, so I am back and ready to let you guys know my thoughts on these books. So like last time, I'll be showing these books in order from least most interested to most interested book. And the very last book that I show you will be the book that I'm going to be putting on my February TBR. And just in case last time in the last clip I said my January TBR, I skipped a month because I had not gotten to the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer in December because I forgot about it, which kind of was sad. So I put it on my January TBR, so I skipped a month because I hadn't finished the book I picked out for December yet. So the book I pick is actually going to be going on my February TBR, so I hope that makes sense. Alright, let's move on. So this book wasn't my least interested book, but I ended up not reading it. I'll get into that in a moment. But it is Roseblood by A.G. Howard. So like I mentioned, this is a Phantom of the Opera retelling. And I started reading it actually. I got to like the first page. I read the first page, and then I was like, I should probably read the original Phantom of the Opera first before reading this. Like I mentioned before, I have seen the movie to the Phantom of the Opera, but I've heard that the 2004 movie is kind of different from the original book. So I want to read the original book first, in case there are things that I have missed or don't know about the original story yet, and then read this book. That realization hit me like while I was reading like the first page. I was like, wait, I should probably do that. So I'm going to hold off on this book for a while. I'm hoping to get to the original Phantom of the Opera soon. I do have the book so I can get to it at any time, and I'm planning to get to it as soon as possible because I really want to read this. So this one isn't going to be picked because I don't want to read it yet. So we're just going to leave it at that and move on. So the book I have at the bottom of this list is Three Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. So this first chapter was really long. It was like a full novel. I'm like, when is this chapter going to end? I think it was like almost 30 pages or something. I was like, this is long. And the first chapter kind of dragged, and that was kind of disappointing because I am really interested in this book, but I was like, the first chapter just didn't captivate me, so I don't want to read it right now. However, that doesn't mean I'm not going to get to it in the future because I am still interested in this book. The concept seems so cool, but I have heard that it is a slow book, so I think I need to be in a particular mood to read this, and I'm not sure if I'm in that mood right now, so I'm going to hold off on this one, but I will read it sometime in the future. Next I have Between the Lines by Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer. So this was a good first chapter. It really did pique my interest. It starts off with the character in this girl's book and his backstory and everything, which I thought was interesting. It really read like a true fantasy book, even though this is a contemporary. And I am interested to see what happens next, but the other books piqued my interest more. So I will get to this one soon because I am still really, really interested in reading it. Next is the one I almost picked. It was a really close tie, and that was Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This was a really good first chapter. We start off with the main character, Catherine, I believe? I don't know. When I read the first chapter to these books, it was a month ago, so my thoughts are kind of hazy. But I believe the main character's name is Catherine, and she is baking, and she's talking to the Cheshire Cat, which was like so awesome. Love the Alice in Wonderland references. So it was really good. I'm really intrigued to see what happens next, and I want to get to this soon, but the book I picked was a little more better than this first chapter, so I will get to it soon. I'm really excited to start this. And the book I picked to add to my February TBR is You by Caroline Kepnes. Kepnes. I said that wrong. Which I'm so excited for. I've put this book on so many TBRs, and I just knew I was going to pick it for this Try a Chapter tag because I'm so intrigued by it, and the first chapter was just like, oh my god, I need to know what happens next. So it was no doubt I needed to put this on my TBR, and I'm excited to finally get it read. I've had this book for 2 years, 3 years, almost 3 years. I just need to read it, and I'm so interested in it, and I'm worried that because I'm hyping it up for myself that it's going to disappoint me, but I still want to check it out, and I have a feeling I'm going to love it. So it's going to be on my TBR for February. And that was the Try a Chapter tag 1 month later at this point. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below for more bookish related videos and Tag Tuesday.